Just setting up the live stream, won't be long. Okay, first things first, let's go and check volume levels, make sure everything's looking okay. It looks okay so far. So we are looking at Larnaca in Cyprus from Inibuilds in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. So we're going to go and have a look around the airfield. And then we're going to go and take the Fenix A320 from Larnaca over to Rhodes. So I'm going to have a good look around the airfield first before we get going. We've got the air traffic is being provided by SayIntentions with their living world. So they are injecting the aircraft in, so we're getting appropriate liveries and aircraft around the airport. Okay, so first things first, let's go and have a fly around the airport and have a look at it. So this airport isn't actually available to buy yet, I don't think. So I've been given advanced access by Inibuilds, obviously, to be able to show it to everybody. It's really nice, well, from what I've seen so far. So let's have a little look at this. So I know this is like really details, but the fences are done all the way around the airfield. And let's go and look up in the air. So standard scenery until we get to the edge of the airfield then. And then we got some hangars with appropriate badges on them by the look of it. It's interesting that we got the appropriate liveries are being injected in as well. I'm not sure if they are static aircraft or if they are coming in from SayIntentions. So don't hold me to that one. So we've got GA parking at this end. So lots of buildings. It's a shame the textures aren't a bit better. I'm guessing that's the stock scenery from Flight Simulator that's doing that. That aeroplane seems almighty quiet to me. Have I got the sound set up wrong? The entire simulator seems quiet to me. I may have. I know I've done wrong. I've got my own speakers wrong. So I want the gaming headset. That's better. I can actually hear it now. I couldn't hear a thing then. Okay, let's carry on looking around. So this is the eastern end of the airport and we're moving down towards the western end. So there's more GA parking here. There's a lake. And here's the control tower. And there's a smaller tower down here. I'm guessing this is to do with ground operations. I don't actually know. So that hasn't got an interior by the look of it. We'll just go and have a look just in case. Well, it does, but there's nothing inside it. Very cool. So there's the control tower. Lots of coffee machines. Oh my word, how many coffee machines do they need? That's impressive. I'm actually quite jealous. So let's go and come down to the desks. I mean, I know this is ridiculous, but look at the attention to detail. It's mad, isn't it? Very clever. You get a really good view out over the airfield as well. Okay, so we're going to fly down out of the control tower and across the grass here. Let's follow the road, shall we, and come in towards the terminals. So it might be an idea, actually, rather than just look at this from the airport side, let's go from the public side. So I imagine people are going to come into this airport over this road network here, aren't they? Which is kind of modelled. I guess the the airport scenery, sorry, starts here, doesn't it, really? You can see the line in the sand where it starts to be done properly. So let's come in as if we are visiting as a passenger. So we can see got car parks on either side of the way in. Should we come down through here and see if they've modelled it? They have. So we've got Costa Coffee. And there's environmental sounds. This seems to be a new thing that Inibuilds are doubling down on. Okay, so we're coming through the doors of the airport. Oh, maybe they haven't got so much in the way of environmental sounds. Not as many as I thought they might. So let's have a look around these buildings. So we've got check-in desks. We appear to have 2 rows of them. And on the other side there's even more, so we'll come fly over here and have a look around them. So all they're missing is, oh, there's one girl working on one of the desks with a queue. Very cool. Okay, so we'll whiz around the airport. Obviously this is a real installation, because otherwise they wouldn't have gone to so much detail with this. And we've got the departure boards. Where's everybody going then? Zurich, Athens, London, Warsaw, Haifa, Munich, Vienna, Athens, Dubai. Very cool. Okay, so let's go and continue our journey around the airport and go and have a look. So, departures, all gates. So we've got security and scanners. Obviously this would normally be full of trays of tables. Or sorry, trays and tables with people taking their belts and shoes and all sorts of. So there's a corridor either side. I don't think it matters which side we go. So we're going to go down towards the air side of the airport. And here we are. So what's down there? Does it actually go anywhere? No, it's just a dead end. Okay. So we'll just fly down the terminal building so you get to see all of it. There's a lot of people in here, isn't there? It's running very smoothly. They've obviously optimized it enormously. So there is a lower area down there, but I don't think there's any scenery down there to see as such. So we'll just carry on. There's a plane taxiing past at the far end. So did I just notice, yeah, there's animated boards on the displays. So they're not just static images. Oh, the plane just disappeared in front of our eyes outside. That's a bit of a shame. It's very impressive, isn't it? Okay, so that's Larnaca. Looks awesome, doesn't it? So obviously we came down at this end of the airport. We haven't looked around the gates yet, so let's go and have a little look and see how well they've modelled the gates. They look pretty spectacular to me. So there's another piece of building over here that we didn't spot previously. Or maybe we did and I wasn't paying attention. Or maybe, yeah, this is the check-in, isn't it? Or is it? Yeah. I just didn't spot the seating area. Okay. So we've got an Egypt Air 737 rolling in. Our aircraft is waiting for us around this side of the terminal. It'll be in the Fenix colours, so FenixSim.com. And this is us. Okay, so we're going to go and press Shift and C to get walk around. Oh, this has done the same thing it did to me the other day. Can we get out of here without... No, we're stuck inside the cockpit. I really hate this about the walk around mode, that it goes and puts you inside the aeroplane. It starts outside earlier, and after some time it ends up inside the aeroplane, which means I don't get to show you how the doors work, which is a real shame. So I'm just going to go and push the door back out of the way so we can walk around and the stairs work. So this is obviously a feature of the Fenix. So we can go and come up the stairs into the aeroplane, and this door works from this side as well, if I can stop the drone camera from drifting. Oh, you can't open that from this side. Interesting. So then we can pull this back, pull that back down again to lock it into place, and then we can undo the cockpit door and go and walk into the cockpit. And I'm going to turn the drone camera off now and remove actually the Xbox controller because it's a pain in the neck. It really is. Okay, that can go on the floor. So then we can press Shift and C and we're back in the cockpit normally. Okay, and you can see while we've been messing around outside, the tablet's gone flat on us, which is entirely predictable. So let's see what we can do to get some power back to the tablet. We're going to go overhead with Shift and 5. We're going to go and turn the batteries. Oh, we've got external power available. So will that charge the tablet? Yes, it will. So Shift and 5. We're going to go and turn the batteries on. We've already done the external power. So strobes go to the middle setting, nav and logo goes to 1, a master switch for the APU goes to on, and the start switch goes to on. Oxygen cruise supply can be switched on. Set the emergency exit to armed. No smoking goes to auto. And rotate the ADIRS switches to nav, and I think I've got it set to instant alignment, so it'll save us some time there. So we are going to program our flight plan via SimBrief. So I've filed the flight plan over to Rhodes from Larnaca within SimBrief. So Shift and 3 brings us over to the tablet. We go to the Fenix app. We go tap to import from SimBrief, and with a little bit of luck, it will go and get it. It's complaining because I've wound the time back in the simulator so you can see the airport nicely. So then we can, having done that, we can go mass and balance, and we can say, I always forget how all of this works. Select load aircraft and do it instantly. So dismiss that. So that's gone and put the fuel and the passengers on board. And then we can send that to the MCDU. So I'm reading instructions as I'm doing this. The pregnant pauses are me reading and making sure I'm not doing anything hilariously wrongly. So then we can go over to the departure performance app so you can see the air bridge connecting to us. Okay, so within the departure performance we can sync the load sheet and then sync the live weather, and then we should be able to calculate all of the numbers, and we can send that to the MCDU as well. So we can keep note of that as well. Flaps 1, and we've got the V-speeds there. I think a lot of this will come across automatically, but we'll see. Okay, so Shift and 1 will take us over to the MCDU. We can clear any messages, go into FMGC, clear message, go into init and do an init request. And it should load the data. Give it a few seconds. And there it comes. It comes up with a message about the uplink, and that's all good. So flight number for today, we're going to be VFA001 or Virtual 001. VFA001. Cost index, we're going to go check SimBrief. So cost index for us today is 23. And the cruise flight level is going to be 32,000 feet or 320. We'll also go into the wind and do a wind request. And then we can return and we can clear the message from the wind request. Okay, so from in here we're going to go sideways and get the fuel, so do fuel planning. Wait for a few seconds for it to calculate. Confirm the block fuel. And then we're going to go over to the flight plan and set the departure up. So LCLK is Larnaca. And let's go and check our flight plan. So runway 22 and the PHA1 whiskey. So runway 22 and PHA1 whiskey, there it is. There's our standard instrument departure. We haven't got any transitions involved, have we? We're going out to PHA, and that, I don't think there's any options actually, so just insert. Yep, goes straight outlook to PHA, and it's filled the numbers in for us. So if we then go to destination, let's see if we can fill it in one go. So the Cody 2 Golf star into runway 24. So arrival is going to be runway 24. Now we've got VOR 24 Zulu. We'll do that one. And Cody, which one was it? Cody 2 Golf. Okay, and insert that into our flight plan. So let's have a scroll down. I think there should be a discontinuity in here, but we're just going to double check. Actually, no, it's done it, because Dexus would have been where the discontinuity was. We're good. That's the missed approach, obviously. So you've got the runway 24 is in there, look. If we scroll it back down. Excellent. So flight plan. Put it back to the top of the page. So after doing the flight plan, we're going to go up to the Flight Management Guidance Computer, or FMGC. Set the QNH, so we'll go and press comma, and oh, it hasn't moved. Does that mean we haven't got live weather on? Let's go and have a look. No, we haven't. That will be that. So we'll put the live weather on at least. And then press comma again, and there we go. The altitude has now corrected itself appropriately. So we need to go and talk to clearance now from SayIntentions to get our initial climb altitude. Oh, actually, we haven't got instant alignment. Look, we've got 3 minutes to kill. So let's go to SayIntentions, and we're going to go and talk to clearance. But before we do that, we'll go to ATIS. Information at the moment is Papa.
Okay. Temperature 28. Dew point 23.
So we'll go back over to clearance. Larnaca clearance, virtual 001 with information Papa requesting clearance to Rhodes.
I'll have your clearance in just a second.
Let me just check the volume levels. See that you're hearing things. It's going to be a bit quiet for you, isn't it? Oh, let's turn it up a bit. I want to see how loud the controllers are being. One day I'll get a second screen and can have this off screen, but I think it's good for you to see it. To see the challenges of doing this. Controllers are taking a while, aren't they? Come on, Larnaca. There we
Virtual
go.
001, information Papa is current. Clear to Diagoras via the Pathos 2 Delta departure, then as filed. Departure runway 04. Initial climb to 9,000. Departure on 130.2, squawk 3256.
Clear to Diagoras via the FAR2 Delta departure, then as filed. Departure runway 04. Initial climb 9,000 feet. Departure 130.2, squawk 3256. Virtual 001.
Lufthansa 1507, request IFR clearance to Frankfurt.
Squawk 3256.
Virtual 001, read back correct. Contact ground on 119.4 when ready.
So clear this. 3256. We'll put this on auto, and we'll turn that on. That's already on standby. We'll leave it there for the moment. Okay, so we don't need to actually talk to ground just yet, so we're going to put this back on radio check so we don't hear bits and pieces.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard this flight with.
So we've just got ADIA's alignment. That's just happened.
Take your seats according to your boarding
You can see down here it says IR in align, and that will disappear in a moment.
Or under the seats in front of you. If you require any assistance.
Okay, we've got company message to deal with while the cabin crew is talking to the passengers. So let's go over to ATC comms and go into the AOC menu, and we should have the load sheets to go deal with. So load sheet, so accept, and come back, and load sheet, and accept, and come back. And then go back to the flight plan page, clear out the messages about the ADIA's aligning. Okay. So we've set the, we haven't set the altitude yet. So initial altitude for our climb out is 9,000 feet today. Let's go and set that up. So there's 9,000, it's in managed mode anyway, which is all good. Flight directors are on. We'll bring the range down on the navigation display, although saying that, it's 20 miles look until the first turning point, so it's not really a big issue. Just checking through what I need to do next, so obviously preparing for pushback and start now. So shift and 5 takes us overhead. Seatbelt signs go to on now. And then external power can come off, APU's been running for a little while. And then we go shift 3 back to the tablet. And we can go into here and go to the Fenix ground services, turn the GPU, or remove the GPU from the aeroplane, remove the stairs from the aeroplane. We can toggle the jetway. That's the button I didn't find the other day. Hopefully it's going to pull away from us fairly quickly. There it goes. And get rid of the chocks and cones from away from the aeroplane. Okay, so having done that, we'll leave it on this page because we can connect the tug from here, but we're going to request permission from ground first. I've missed a button there as I've done that. So on SayIntentions, we're going to go and talk to ground now. Did they say they only, yeah, so departure 130, they didn't tell us ground, did they? So ground 119.4. Larnaca ground, virtual 001, requesting pushback and engine start. Are they going to come back to us today?
Virtual 001, pushback and engine start approved. Face southeast.
So they want us to face southeast. Let's go and have a little look on the map and find out where we are. So they want us to face 90 degree. So we want the tail to go back and to our right. Yeah, in order for us to face southeast. Because obviously we're going to be departing. I'm guessing we're going to be going all the way along the Charlie taxiway. But we'll get pushed back first. So we can do all this via the tablet, I think, in this version of the aeroplane. So we'll remove the parking brake, we'll connect the tug, and can we just press this? So we want our tail to go to the right. So if we look at the aeroplane here, tug's just approaching. Someone else over there in the way. Hopefully, so our right, sorry. So we're going that way. So we can taxi out that way. Need to be careful of these other aircraft. So we're going a straight line for a while.
Cabin crew, all doors in flight and cross-check. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard this flight with our virtual airline. We are departing from Larnaca and heading to Diagoras. Our flight number is VFA 001, and we expect to be in the air for
Wizz Air 65 Sierra Romeo, taxi to the ramp.
I would like to introduce our flight crew.
Wizz Air 65 Sierra Romeo, taxi to parking via Alpha. Cross runway 04, then Charlie, Victor, Lima Bravo, Lima Alpha.
Pierre, Sophie, and Lucas. Now,
Alpha
for your
cross
safety,
runway 04, then Charlie, Victor, Lima Bravo. Lima Alpha, Wizz Air 65 Sierra Romeo.
Insert the metal fitting into the buckle until you hear a click. To release it,
Okay, let's put the parking brake back on.
in the unlikely event
And we're
of
going to go
loss
for
of
engine
cabin
start.
pressure, oxygen masks will drop down from the panel above you. Pull the mask towards
So
you to
beacon
stop the
light
flow of
goes
oxygen.
to on.
Place it over your nose and mouth, and
All the fuel
secure it with
pumps
the
go to
elastic
on.
band. Remember to secure your own mask before assisting others.
APU
If we
bleed
need
goes
to
to
evacuate the
on.
aircraft, please
And
leave
then
your
down in the
luggage behind.
aircraft we go and turn
There
the
are
ignition
emergency
switch to
exits
on, which
located
changes
at
the
the
display
front,
down here.
middle, and rear
Have you
of
noticed the screens are
aircraft.
flickering?
Please take a moment to locate the
And then
nearest
advance
exit to you,
engine number
keeping
one,
in
which will
mind
keep
that
the
it may
Airbus
be
fans
behind
happy about starting
We
engine
will be
number one
cruising
first.
at an altitude of 32,000 feet. After our meal service, we will be offering items from the virtual airline shop. Thank you for your attention, and we wish you a pleasant
So
flight.
engine startup should be automatic. While that's happening, we can go and do some other things. So we'll go and engage the ground spoilers. We'll move the flaps to 1 for takeoff. And we need to go and do the... Interesting. So yeah, PWS is here. I've seen so many different aeroplanes recently, I'm getting muddled up with what I'm expecting to see when I get to different switch panels. It's kind of a penalty of having so many aeroplanes that I cover. Or try to. So I've got some comments there about someone's having problems with the Airbus. I'm not having any of those problems, but maybe procedurally something you're doing. Okay, so engine is up and running. So let's go and get engine number 2 started. So throttles are on the idle detent, which is good. Just wait for the engine to come up and then we can taxi out. So as soon as we've got the engines running, we can go and get rid of APU, obviously. So just waiting for the numbers to come up. Shall we look from outside while we're doing it?
Ground Lufthansa 1769, request pushback and startup.
It's about 60%, isn't
Information
it?
X-ray is now current.
There we go.
QNH 1016.
So engine is available, APU can come off, APU can come off, and we're going to taxi out to the runway. So we are departing, if we go look again, on runway 22. So if we look on the map, it's the one at the far end. So I'm confidently predicting we'll get maybe Whiskey and then Charlie all the way along. But we'll find out. Let's go and talk to ground. We're already connected to ground, so Larnaca ground, virtual 001 requesting taxi to runway 22.
Virtual 001, taxi to runway 04 via Lima Charlie, Whiskey, Charlie, Golf, Hotel.
We're not going to runway 04. We've been given clearance for runway 22. Negative, Larnaca ground, virtual 001 requesting taxi to runway 22.
Virtual 001, taxi to runway 22 via Lima Charlie, Whiskey, Charlie, Alpha.
Taxi to runway 22 via Lima, Charlie, Whiskey, Charlie, Alpha. Virtual 001. Okay, so let's go and find that on the map. So Lima, Charlie, they haven't given a number for that, have they? So Lima Charlie, which is going, I'm guessing, looking at the letters, that's Lima Charlie. So they want us to go across Lima. Also, have they got? Sometimes these aren't very clear. So Whiskey, Charlie, Alpha. Whiskey, Charlie, Alpha. That's what will follow. Whiskey, Charlie, all the way along, and Alpha. So we're going straight out, basically. Okay, head tracking's on. Parking brake is off. Taxi lights are on. And we're on our way.
Easy 49er Hotel Mike, ready to taxi.
Easy 49er Hotel Mike, taxi to runway 4 via Lima Alpha, Lima Bravo, Victor, Charlie, Golf, cross runway 04, then Hotel.
4 via Lima Alpha, Lima Bravo, Victor, Charlie, Golf, cross runway 04, then Hotel. Easy 49er Hotel Mike.
Okay, we do a left turn here, and then a long old taxi down to the end of the runway. So we're going left for runway 22. It's funny because obviously the night before last, the last flight I did in the simulator was in the Airbus A320 in the Fenix. So it's funny how quickly I very rarely do back-to-back flights. That's just configuring. It's complaining about jittering from the flight stick. I very rarely do back-to-back flights, so
Easy 49 Hotel Mike, give way to the Wizz Air A320.
it's interesting how
Giving
quickly...
way to the Wizz Air A320, Easy 49 Hotel Mike.
It's interesting how quickly an aeroplane becomes second nature. I know lots of people that fly the same aeroplane over and over and over again, and they know it inside out. Which I've got huge respect for people doing that, but I would get bored. I always find myself asking them really complicated questions about grey areas that I'm not sure about with aeroplanes, if they know it really well. Usually to do with how you convert numbers from the load sheets in SimBrief and how you should do things, rather than just using the automated population. I'm going to do a video at some point about reading the operational flight plans, about picking them to bits and explaining what's in them. I think that might be useful for everybody. Yeah, so Sam is saying he just flies the Airbus because he's used to it. So yeah, I'll fully admit I'm terrible for changing airplanes like
Larnaca ground,
every day.
Delta 07, POB2, the Jet Aviation apron, request VFR clearance for circuit.
So let's just check where we are. We're trundling down towards Alpha.
Stand by.
So when we get a bit closer, I imagine controllers will talk to us and ask us to switch to tower in a moment. You can see we've got a few bits and bobs to do. We haven't done the auto brakes. We also haven't done a takeoff config check. We'll do that once we're lined up, and we haven't got the TCAS switched on yet.
Virtual 001, contact tower on 121.2, take care.
Contacting tower 121.2. Good day.
Alpine 75 Tango, pushback approved.
Push and start approved, Alpine 75 Tango Zulu.
So we'll hold it here. We've gone a bit too far, but I wanted to make the turn first. So we'll just use this as a shortcut to contact the tower 121.2. And tower virtual 001 holding short runway 22.
Virtual 01, Larnaca Tower, runway 22, winds 330 at 5, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 22, virtual 001.
Attention all aircraft, information Quebec is now current, QNH 1006.
So we can obviously go, if we need the full length of the runway look, we can go off to the left there. We don't need it. That's a bit strange actually. Maybe they double stack the queue sometimes. So we'll get lined up. We've got a couple extra things to do yet. We haven't quite finished prepping the aeroplane. So we'll roll up to the piano keys. So again, A320, it doesn't need much runway to take off.
Challenger Victor Lima Alpha, contact departure.
Over to departure, Challenger Victor Lima Alpha, bye-bye.
Okay. See, one of the challenges in the simulator obviously is that you're doing everything yourself, whereas in the real world you'd have a co-pilot and all kinds of other things. So let's go and put this on TA mode, and let's go and put the landing lights on for takeoff, and the strobes can go to on instead of auto just to make sure they are on. We haven't done a takeoff config test, so we keep an eye on this screen and we hit takeoff config and it says normal, meaning we have done everything. There's nothing left to do. So off the parking brake, open the throttles up, straight to toga, and let's turn the head tracking on. So we're monitoring indicated airspeed, looking for the V-speeds to come through. We're going to be gently holding the airplane on the center line. So 150 knots looks like for the rotation. So it's 140 we're just coming through. And rotate. And gear up. Autopilot on. Hold the flaps for a moment. Wait and see what the airplane's going to do. Down comes the nose, it will start to accelerate.
Virtual 001 contact departure.
Contacting departure, virtual 001. And flaps come up, and then we go and contact departures. And they left us the code earlier, didn't they? Or the frequency for departures. Where was it? Departure 130.2. Departures, virtual 001, departing runway 22. Don't need the ground spoilers anymore.
Virtual 01, Larnaca departure, radar contact, climb via the SID.
Climbing via the SID, virtual 001. So we remain on a normal climb detent. So we need to go to the climb detent on the throttles. So yeah, we remain on a normal climb profile, not an open climb. So we are respecting the constraints. If we go and put them on the display, so you can see that there, look. We also need to go double check, I should have done this before we took off, the transition altitude, which is 9,000 feet. So it's fairly straightforward really, isn't it? Have a look from outside. There's the airport disappearing behind us. Lovely weather.
Cedar Jet 202, contact Nicosia radar on 123.1.
Over to Nicosia radar on 123.1, Cedar Jet 202.
So just showing you the throttles are in the climb detent, therefore the auto throttles will be managing everything. Coming up to 7,500 feet. So at 9,000 we go for standard barometric pressure on the altimeters, the QNH settings. So we pull for standard. And then at 10,000 feet the landing lights come off, so it's flashing, look, it's get within 1,000 feet of our target altitude. So within, I think it's typically within 500 feet they'd expect you to do this. It'd be interesting to see if that starts flashing.
Departure, Alpine 75 Tango Zulu 2000
or if it gets boxed.
4,000.
Let's see.
Alpine 75 Tango Zulu, radar contact, climb and maintain 11-1000. Climb 11-1000. Alpine 75 Tango Zulu. Alpine 75 Tango Zulu, contact Larnaca departure on 130.2. Over to Larnaca departure on 130.2. Alpine 75 Tango Zulu. Larnaca departure.
So are they going to call us, or do we call them?
Zulu.
Should we go and request higher?
Alpine 75 Tango Zulu, radar contact.
We're just waiting so we don't.
Larnaca approach, Wizz Air 1 Yankee Delta, flight level 140.
Wizz Air 1 Yankee Delta, radar contact.
Departures virtual 001, requesting higher.
911. Already said that.
Virtual 001, say request.
Requesting climb to higher altitude, virtual 001.
001, climb altitude 32,000 feet.
Climbing 32,000 feet, virtual 001. It's interesting they didn't call that as a flight level, they should have done. Could do an open climb to get there, we don't have to follow constraints now. They didn't tell us to. We're out of the SID, basically. Okay, so upstairs we go. Coming through 10,000 feet, so landing lights come off. Should have had the taxi light off already, really. And if we're being nice to the passengers, I guess we can go and let them get up now. Should we tell the cabin crew that? They may kick in.
Dear guests,
yeah,
we have now reached the safe altitude, and you are permitted to use your electronic devices. Please ensure they are set to flight mode. Also, I would like to inform you that our onboard Wi-Fi service is now available. Thank you for your attention.
So I've got Amanda, the usual co-pilot, in the seat next to me, so we can ask Amanda to take over radio comms for the middle part of the journey until we get onto descent into Rhodes. Hi Amanda, can you take over radio comms for a while, please?
Sure, I'll handle the comms from here.
Okay, that frees me up to go and have a coffee. So we'll leave this flying along. I'll obviously come back and keep a check on it and come back to have a chat on the way, because this isn't a very long flight. So we'll see how we get on. So Ed is asking, how do you turn off the bright lights in the cockpit above you? That'll be the dome lights. So you've got the integral lights there, internal light dome light switch is there, look. Can you see that one? So if you start the aeroplane up in the kind of the default way without doing it by hand, you'll end up with all the lights on like a Christmas tree. So yeah, there's the dome light. There's lots of other light switches around the Airbus as well, so you can control the backlighting of all the displays. There's a couple of knobs underneath the glare shield, and there's obviously the main display brightnesses are here, so you can control that. For example, you see that, look? Just turn that completely off.
Wizz Air 1 Yankee Delta, proceed direct IMX. Cleared for the RNAV runway 04 approach. Descend and maintain altitude 4,000 until established.
Down to 4,000, cleared for the RNAV runway 04 approach, Wizz Air 1 Yankee Delta.
But you can control the display brightnesses. There's the PFD, and the two engineering displays in the middle are controlled by the two knobs down here. You can switch through all of the ECAM displays to show you the status of the aeroplane. So you've got, you know, the fuel systems, hydraulics.
Virtual 001, contact Nicosia radar on 131.0.
So Amanda should do this for us.
Switching to Nicosia radar on 131.0, virtual 01.
So electrical systems and pressure. So she'll then say hello to the next sector for us. If you wait for her.
Nicosia radar, virtual 01 evening. Climbing through flight level 150 for flight level 320.
Radar identified. Good evening.
So then we've got the air bleed systems, we've got the APU and the air conditioning system, doors, wheels, flight control systems, and you can just press them again, and if you turn it off it goes back and shows you the default for the mode you're in. But you can, I think, if we press, how do we get the status screen? Interesting. So what I'm going to do, this is interesting, I wasn't expecting this. I'm guessing it's because we're still in climb, unless I've hit a switch by accident around the cockpit.
Radar, Israel 5110 heavy, inbound Emeda, it's flight level 340.
So all will cycle through the...
5110 heavy Nicosia radar, roger. Israel 5110 heavy Nicosia radar,
anyway.
Strap yourself in for a bumpy arrival.
Roger, Israel 5110 heavy.
So we're in TA only at the moment. We're not going to probably see any other traffic, so we'll go TARA now. So all that means is the autopilot will react. If something gets too close, it will react automatically. It will either climb or descend usually. Okay, so just looking at where we are on the route, we're making our way out. Let's go and get rid of that chart out of the way. So leaving Cyprus behind in a few moments. Here's the coastline. So I'm going to go grab a coffee. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Nicosia radar, Air Creek 651, flight level 360.
Air Creek 651, radar contact. Israel Air 6516 heavy Nicosia radar, good evening.
Israel Nicosia radar, Israel 6516 heavy, request descent.
Israel Air 6516 heavy, descend to flight level 240.
Virtual 01, Nicosia radar. Expect the Cody 2 Golf arrival. Descent coming up in about 20 minutes. If you'd like to descend now, just say the word.
Expecting the Cody 2 Golf arrival. We'll let you know if we want to descend earlier. Virtual 01.
Okay, I'm back.
Egypt Air 7,
What have they been telling us?
Contact Cairo Control on 124.7.
124.7, Egypt Air 714.
Okay, so we don't need to
Nicosia
descend.
radar with
Just yet.
647 at flight level 320.
With 647 Heavy, Cairo Control, roger.
Interesting. Why are we having such trouble climbing? Because of the because of the cost index was low, wasn't it? So we should be climbing to where was the flight plan? Oh, it was 32,000. Okay. Is there any changes along the way? No, there's no flight level changes. It just seems to be quite a slow climb, doesn't it?
Aircrew 651, contact Larnaca approach on 130.2.
So top
Over
of
to
descent
Larnaca
is
approach
after
on
Larnaca.
130.2. Aircrew 651.
It's going to be interesting to see what the airplane does with this, because it's not a straightforward arrival. We're going straight over the top, then doubling back, flying a radius curve all the way around and dropping in. And we stay actually quite high altitude. It's about 9,000 feet, I think. And then we suddenly start descending around the back of here. So if we go and show you the plan for this. So yeah, look, we're at... we're coming in essentially here. So 6,000 feet, not 9,000. So 6,000, down to 5,000, down to 4,000, and then we drop. Interesting, isn't it? Obviously the reason for it, and it's not illustrated on here, is there's a sodding great island in the way. With hills, or mountains even. So if we go and look at that on a little nav map, you can see it in a bit more detail. So yeah, look, we're going arcing around the airfield, right over the top of the hills, and then suddenly dropping. So we're above 6,000, then above 5,000, and then dropping in for the approach into Rhodes. Why it has chosen that as the route, I will never know. But it gives us something to do. So this is the Fenix Airbus A320 we're in, for those asking. So higher cost index would be harder acceleration, and we programmed it in earlier, or we got it in from SimBrief, didn't we? So it should be in here. If we go into performance data, is it in? Yeah, cost index 23, which was correct according to the flight plan. So I'm not going to go against what they've asked for. Yeah, that was on our flight plan. It's what we've been instructed to do. It's what the fuel burn is going to be based upon, so I'm not going to go and risk that. So we've got estimated fuel on block of 4 tons when we get to destination. That's fine by me. So OPA is saying, where are the aeronautical charts coming from? This is a piece of software called Navigraph. It's a subscription service, and it gives you charts for most of the world. They are licensed from Jeppesen, as you can see, but it's not the only way of doing it. So within the simulator, within 2024, you've got a flight planner, and within the flight planner you've also got charts. So I think you can see it in here, clipped charts. Yeah, so if we went in here, obviously I haven't programmed the flight in, but if we wanted to use this instead of the aeroplane or Navigraph, you could go and put our departure airport in. So for example, today's flight, we can copy it out of here. So file, where are we? Flight plan, copy it to the clipboard. And then come back into here. And, whoa, what just happened to the aeroplane? Got a master caution then. That was a autopilot still on. Auto throttle limited.
Nicosia radar, Turkish 38 Yankee, flight level 340.
Turkish 38 Yankee, radar contact.
Throttle levers. I've just moved the throttle levers.
Traffic.
It's okay again now.
Air Baltic 16, Julia, we're ready for the
Whoa, we have airplanes nearby.
Air Baltic
Only
16
1,000
Juliet,
feet away
runway
from
22
us.
is not available. Expect runway 4 for landing.
So this one is climbing. Oh no, it's getting further away from us vertically, so it's not a problem. But if we go to look outside then, can we see them? My word, that's on a collision course. But it's above us, so... There it is. Very cool. Okay, so now we've had a bit of fun. What was I going to do?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now reached cruising altitude. We will begin our snack and drink service shortly.
If I go to
Today we have some delightful options, including
Planner,
safe
sorry,
cheese
isn't it?
latte
Planner.flightsimulator.com.
and selection of refreshing beverages. After the
And
service,
this is a
we
free
also have
website.
articles from
It's connected to
virtual
Flight Sim
airline
2024.
available for you to purchase.
So we can go into routes and we can paste our route in here. It's actually licensed from Lufthansa. So there we go, we've pasted it in, so we save that and it will figure the route out. And it won't place you on the map in this web application. But the trick being, we can now save this and call it, say, Larnaca to Rhodes. And save the plan. Okay, so that's going to save it on the internet. So then in the planner in here, we can load from the web and we can choose Larnaca from Larnaca to Rhodes. And that will drop in with the flight plan we've just pasted in from Little Nav Map. And obviously we can see ourselves on that route. But the trick being that we should be able to, we can see the charts. So these are the ones that come with the simulator. So we can go and have a look at them. These are the Lufthansa charts. You can see they're pretty good. They're more colourful than the Jeppesen ones. But they're built into the simulator these days. So we can see that we've got this star coming into runway 24. Let's go and have a look. It's the star chart with all of them on, look.
From 11,
so we know we're flying into this one and then coming back round. So again, they're laid out differently than Jeppesen.
Alpha 45 would like to cancel IFR this time.
Yeah, so as Sam has commented, these are called Lido charts. They only really cover the commercial or international airports. You won't get any small airfields. Because they are for Lufthansa. If you go and look down at the bottom, you'll see Lufthansa Systems. There we go, look, there's the copyright. Lufthansa Systems chart intended for flight simulation only. So there you go. That's what's built into the sim. I'm just used to Navigraph, so that's the only reason I'm using it. Navigraph has some other tricks up its sleeve, like being able to show the weather, so we can get overlays, for example. But then you can do this. Look, we're about to come through some weather. But you can do that. Let me just check the aeroplane before we go waffling on too much about other things. So they are 5,000 feet below us.
Athens Center, Turkish 3 Papa Charlie.
We have a company message.
Turkish 3 Papa Charlie, radar contact.
So ATC comms, AOC menu, receive messages, VFA ops, no ADC required. So what that relates to is if we had to correct the timing within the aircraft, so if we were late departing or whatever else. It used to trigger it if you changed the simulator time, because obviously this isn't real time, it's dark on this part of the world at the moment. So I wound the clock back. But it used to trigger it if you wound the clock back, and then you'd have to put the number of minutes in and the reason why. So yeah, that judder when all of the systems went mad, who knows, maybe one of those things that crossed our path was the was a UFO. Maybe we've got some missing time, who knows. Okay, so we're at cruise altitude, we're cruising along, everything's looking good, thankfully. We can use the MCDUs independently of each other, so we'll leave the flight plan on this page, but we could show progress, for example, on the other side.
Easy 383, heavy contact, Nicosia radar on 123.55.
We've also got, I will often say this, there's a chronometer, I always forget to start it. Normally you'd use the chronometer for timing holds or things like that, but then it's a backup thing really, because you've got holds built into the system. It can fly them perfectly well all on its own. Should we go and do the destination data before it starts reminding us about it? So if we go to performance, go next phase, and we can put the numbers in for the destination. So we're going to Diagoras, Rhodes. Let's go and get information on the airport and get the weather. So what do we want? QNH 1006. Temperature on the ground 26 degrees centigrade. Wind magnitude and direction 238 knots, so that's quite different than here. Look, 230/08. Drop that in. The rest of it looks like it can all be good. We've got the landing configuration is set for full. We haven't set Varro, so let's go and have a look at the chart. So what that means is what's our minimums for the arrival. So we want to go and look at this VOR chart, and it will have down here somewhere, depends on operator policy, straight in landing decision altitude, so 1100 feet. There's a moth flying around right in front of me that's been attracted by the lights. Hang on a second. No doubt it's going to have an absolute barnstorming time down the back of the laptop now. Oh, it's come back out again. And how long until it lands in my coffee? Or burns itself to death on a lamp? Or there's a candle just across the room from me. I wonder if the moth will go and fry itself on the candle. Okay, so we've done the approach data. We can go back to the flight plan page. We'll probably still get the reminder about filling it in, but we'll see what happens with that. We've got a little way to go yet. If we go and increase the range, you can see that bizarre plan is coming to fruition. It'd be interesting to see what the aeroplane does. So I think it was marking top of descent, yeah, just after Lekad. Because we've got this big arcing path to fly around the island. a shame this hasn't got range. Oh, it has got range down here, look. So yeah, there's probably, what, 10, 20, 30, 40 miles on the way around there. And we're going to start descending somewhere about here. So we've got all this time to descend. Making the turn towards it. We've got some more aeroplanes nearby. Let's go and have a look and see who they are. We'll go and get rid of this out of the way. So who were we talking to earlier? Nicosia Radar. Or who was Amanda talking to, I should say. Should we ask for some coffee from the cabin crew? Hi cabin crew, can we have some coffee in the cockpit please?
Understood, Captain. I will arrange for coffee in the cocktail shortly.
In the cocktail? What's she talking about? The cockpit? Oh, don't you love AI? It's clever until it isn't. What else can we do in here? Can we have a map or anything? Charts. That will do. And presumably that will centre on the aeroplane and stay centred. Or not. It sort of understands what we're doing. Yeah, a coffee
Athens Center, allow 387.
in the cocktail. That's funny. An Irish coffee.
Radar contact.
The moth has disappeared now. It's not flying around the room anymore. It's probably found a quiet corner to not move for the next 24 hours. So we're cruising along 280 knots, Mach 0.771. There's somebody below us going significantly faster. 4,000 feet below. 15 miles out in front of us. Wonder what that is. We can find out, can't we? I just realised this. There it is. What is it?
Virtual 001, contact Athens on 123.83.
737-900.
Switching to Athens on 123.83. Virtual
He is
01.
shifting. Got a Jordanian flight above us just
Athens,
coming in.
Virtual 01, evening, maintaining flight level 320.
Virtual 01, Athens identified. Good evening.
He sounds very officious, doesn't he? So should we go and tell Amanda that we'll talk from now on? Hi Amanda, I can take over comms now.
Alright Jonathan, you're in charge of the comms now.
So Ed's saying, can you set up the approach on the other MCDU and have it work? Yeah, both MCDUs work properly. They are synchronized in terms of the data. So, you know, the flight plan you see on one side is the same as the other side. Yeah, so we've got XLAT on both sides, and yeah. So you can, if you have the right software to do it, I think I've forgotten what it's called. You can do a group flight where you can have pilot and co-pilot, so you can both pretend to be in the same cockpit, operating, so it synchronizes your simulators. I'm trying to remember what it's called. Oh crikey, it's gone out of my head completely. But yeah, you can fly the aeroplane from the co-pilot seat, no trouble at all. You just need to, what you would do, if you wanted to do it, is move your view over here, for example, get yourself lined up nicely with where you would normally be sitting if you were the co-pilot, say there, and you press control, or you use a key combination that you've mapped in the keyboard settings to save that view, and a key combination to load that view. So then you could do it easily. So if I said Control Alt 9, which I know is going to save it for me. Actually, it won't for me. Control Alt 5.
Tango Bravo Athens, roger.
So instead of I said Alt
Tango Bravo
and 5 now. Whenever I want to,
125.5.
whenever I want to go and sit here, I just press Alt and 5, and I'm sitting in the co-pilot seat, and everything will work. So you can pretend to be the co-pilot rather than the pilot in command. But like I said, there is an add-on. I'm not sure if it's available for 24, but for 2020, there was an add-on that let you co-fly an aeroplane with another user, and they don't have to be, you know, they could just be somewhere else on the internet, as long as you're both got the software configured correctly, and it meant you could, you know, fly it properly as a team. So there's Lacad. Where's the top of descent then? So our initial descent, looking at this, will be above 6,000 feet by the time we get round. So we're going to fly over and round. I don't like the way this is done, and I don't know what the aeroplane's going to make of it. So we'll see. Makes it more interesting, doesn't it? This is a bit bright, isn't it? Let's go and turn the brightness down on it. So we'll begin descending a little bit early. We'll start at Lacad and descend . And what's the name of the SID? Let's get it fresh in our head. So it's the... It was Cody something, wasn't it? Cody 2 Golf. So we'll wait until we get to Lacad, and then we'll
Virtual
do it.
001,
maybe they're going to ask us
cleared
to.
Cody 2, Golf arrival into Diagoras. When you're ready, descend altitude 6,000.
Beginning descent, altitude 6,000 feet, Virtual 001. So we can go do it, may as well.
Virtual 001, descend altitude 6,000 feet.
So I'm doing a managed...
1006.
I'm doing managed descent, which means that the aeroplane's going to hold 1,000 feet a minute, and you'll see the green dot is going above us.
We have now left our cruising altitude.
Yeah, so let's go and put the seatbelt sign back on.
Please return to your seats, stow your tables, and fasten your seatbelts. The use of lavatories is no longer permitted at this time. Thank you for your cooperation.
So what will happen is we'll descend, we're going below the descent profile, and then when we meet it, because we'll just carry on at 1,000 feet a minute, but then it will catch back up with us later on in the descent. Well, that's the plan anyway, unless we get too low too quickly, in which case it never will catch up. So we can see Rhodes in front of us now in the sunshine. Let's go and have a look from outside. So we're going to essentially fly over, go all the way around, and then back in. So let's drop this back to 40 miles. Right, so what sort of mess is this going to make? It's got some rendering mistakes on it, hasn't it? Now I've got a moth that's just landed on the joystick. I bet they don't get this in the real airplanes, do they? Moths landing on the flight deck. Go away, you silly animal. Or insect even. Okay, it's hiding now. It's found somewhere quiet. It landed on my hand, on the keyboard, on the joystick. I think it wants to watch the simulator. Let me just make sure it hasn't gone in my coffee before I try and drink it. So we go straight overhead, then we turn back around, and then we come in for the approach. And it's reversed this. This is a bit of a tangent kind of maths error, isn't it? Where it's gone the opposite direction. I guess what it probably means is if you do miss it, you do manual to get to par, and that's the route back in for another go. You'd have to look at the chart to confirm that. So we've got a waypoint to intercept up here, look.
Etihad 23, Athens Center, good evening.
Be interesting to see if the autopilot can handle it at all, or if we'll just have to go heading mode for a few seconds to manhandle the aeroplane towards it. Just reading the comments about the moth. It's coming back this way again. It wants to watch the screen, obviously. It's going to critique me. So yeah, okay, you're doing all this planning to come in for one landing. I've just landed on the top of the joystick, on your hand, on the keyboard, on the light fitting, on the edge of your coffee mug. Where else would you like me to land?
Athens Center, Egypt Air 732, flight level 400.
Egypt Air 732, radar contact.
Okay, so there's the airport. Down there, look. So we're going to fly over all the way around and then back in. So we
Virtual 001, descend altitude 4000, turn left heading 125 vectors for the visual runway 24 approach.
Yeah, they're not making us do all of this. Descend 4,000 feet, turn left heading 125 vectors for the visual runway 24 approach. Virtual 001. So we can forget all about the flight plan. 4,000 feet and turn left. So we're going to selected mode to 125 degrees. So we can forget about most of the flight plan. As soon as they give us somewhere to go direct to on the way in, we'll know what we're doing. So yeah, they're going to box us off to come back in.
Express 619, radar contact.
So they're not making us do the star. There's not much traffic around, look. So there's no point. It's not like there's a queue of planes coming in. There's one at 10,000 feet there, look. Olympic. I wonder where he's going. So this crazy VNAV approach isn't happening. So we'll reprogram this out of the system in a moment. Never mind. I imagine they'll give us a direct 2 fairly soon. So 23,000 feet and falling. We've got plenty of time to descend because obviously they're vectoring us away. I'm sure we'll get another left turn in a moment. We could come down much more steeply if we throw the spoilers out. So watch the descent rate. Make everybody's ears pop. Yeah, so what we're doing here is holding the spoilers out so we can descend much more quickly. There's the airfield behind us. I'm sure we'll get turned left again in a moment.
Virtual 001, turn left, heading 080.
Turning left, heading 080, virtual 001. Told you. That wouldn't happen to be the reciprocal, would it? 060 would be the reciprocal. So they're going to bring us over and then bring us back in, I guess. Or just like they're going to turn the flight plan into an octagon.
355 heavy contact Athens Center on 125.2.
I wonder how the logic works.
125.2 is 355.
So what's the transition altitude at Rhodes? 6,000 feet. And he's commanded us down to 4,000, so we'll come through the transition. We did find the weather out earlier, didn't we? 1006 is the local weather. So let's go and wipe out most of this. If they'll put us in through Texas, because that would be, I wouldn't mind betting if that's exactly what's going to happen.
Virtual 001, contact Rhodes approach on 118.25.
Contacting Rhodes approach 118.25, virtual 001. Rhodes approach, virtual 001 with you descending through 14,000 down to 4,000 feet. On a heading of 080 degrees, requesting vectors for runway 24.
Virtual 001, turn left, heading 360 vectors for the visual runway 24 approach. Expect the visual runway...
Turning left, heading 360 for the runway 24 visual approach, virtual 001. Cut him off then, didn't I? Whoops. So they're sending us straight north and then they'll turn us in left again. Hopefully. So how are we doing for height? We're down to almost down to 10,000 feet. So it was 6,000 feet for the transition altitude, wasn't it? And it was 1006. So we'll have to do that in a moment.
Departure, hello, Eurowings to Lima, climbing 2000.
What was his whole instruction? Expect visual, okay.
Can we please for Eurowings to Lima? Climb flight level 100 and direct codec, Eurowings to Lima, thank you.
So it's now decelerating before it comes through 10,000 feet, so while we're at 10,000 we'll go and put the landing lights on. And then it will continue down at 250 knots automatically. So the island's over there in the sunshine. We're going to get a sunset landing, aren't we? It's going to be pretty.
Captain, cabin is ready.
Very good.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now beginning our final approach into Diagoras. Please turn off your electronic devices and stow them until we arrive at the gate. Ensure your tray tables are put away, your seats are in the full upright position, and your seat belts are fastened.
I wonder if they'll mind
if
I cheat slightly and go for FD24 Zulu on the guidance system. So looking at the charts we had, so CD24 Yankee would do that one. And that's coming in at 2,000 feet. They haven't cleared us down that far yet, have they? Let's see if they give us more vectors. So we're almost down 6,000 feet now, so when we can go and change the barometric pressure in a moment, get it back to local. Yeah, it's flashing already, look. So 1006
Virtual 001, turn left heading 285.
Turning left heading 285, virtual 001. Yeah, they're going to vector us in, that's fine. Should we put the head tracking on for a bit so we can look out the window? So coming down to 4,000 feet, I'm going to get rid of the spoilers now. We're not in a huge hurry to descend anymore. So holding 250 knots.
Olympic 392, proceed direct D062 Oscar. Cleared for the other Z runway 24 approach.
Almost
descend and maintain altitude 2500 until established.
So if we were to go direct FD240,
cleared for the other Z runway 24 approach, Olympic 392.
So we'll go direct.
Hotel 3910. Requesting clearance IFR for the Peruvian with information.
Which is pretty much what they've told us to do. I'm going
Virtual
to
001, turn left heading 270. Olympic 392, contact Diagoras Tower on 118.2.
So they're actually bringing us a little bit more directly.
Tower
So
on 118.2, Olympic 392.
presumably they want us to descend a bit further, because there's the airport. And if that's about 7 or 8 miles, we want to be at 2,500 feet. So I'm going to begin descending, I guess. Let's have a look at the chart, see what sort
Virtual
of...
001,
It's only 3 degrees.
13 miles from the approach turn. Turn right heading 285, descend altitude 3000 until established. Cleared for the visual runway 24 approach.
So let's read that back correctly for them. So 13 miles from the approach turn right heading 285, descend 3000 until established. Cleared for the runway 24 approach, virtual 001. So we need to get ready to come down to... Was it 3,000 they want us down to? Yeah. So let's go and do an open descent down to 3,000. And we can start slowing down in a moment as well. So obviously this is not going to be following constraints because we're not following the managed flight plan anymore. So we need to look after speed ourselves really. So let's go to 220. Just let the speed fall off. Maybe we use the spoilers to let it get there a bit more quickly. I'm going to change my vectors to get a bit longer run at the runway in a straight line. We can see it on the navigation display, so it's not a problem. So coming down to 3,000. Let's get the first level of flaps and get the speed down again to say 180 now.
Good day, our wings 2 Victor Papa.
So looking at the charts here, we can go
Vienna.
flaps 2 already at 200 knots.
Diagoras Airport,
that's
good
the runway.
Day. Our wings 2 Victor Papa with information X-ray, request IFR clearance to Wien.
1 second while I grab the paperwork.
Okay, so I'm going to turn the autopilot off.
Cleared to Vienna where the 1 and to November departure, departure runway 24, initial time 7000, departure 118.25, squawk 4442. Delta 1234.
Virtual 001, contact Diagoras Tower on 118.2.
Contacting Diagoras Tower, 118.2, virtual 001. Diagoras Tower, virtual 001, cleared for the visual runway 24 approach. That's just complaining because we've turned the systems off. The auto throttle's off.
Virtual 01, Diagoras Tower, continue approach for runway 24.
Turn all the warnings off, we'll do it. Continuing approach, runway 24, virtual 001.
Virtual 001, winds 210 at 8. Runway 24, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 24, copy the weather, virtual 001. It's complaining because I haven't put the gear down.
Virtual 001, runway 24 is the active runway. If unable, advise intentions.
It does not want to slow down, does it? So we're a little bit high and a little bit fast, but we're trying to correct that.
100 above. Minimum.
Easy 24 Papa November, contact departure on 118.25.
November 312 Papa. Runway 08 is not available. Active runway is 24. Winds calm, runway 24, clear to land.
Runway 24, clear to land. November 5312 Papa.
500. Retard. Drive.
Wonder if we can make this exit. Probably. Hang everything out. I need to get some decent scenery for this airport. I think it would be quite nice.
Virtual 001, welcome to Diagoras. Contact ground on 121.705.
Contacting ground 121.075, virtual 001. So let's stop here for a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have just landed at Diagoras Airport. Our flight number was VFA 001, and we departed from Larnaca International Airport. The local time
We'll listen to the
here
girl
is
before we go.
Please remain seated until we reach our final parking position. Thank you for flying with our virtual
have we got
airline.
any...
Did you know that Diagoras is known for its beautiful beaches and rich history? We hope you enjoy your time here. On behalf of Captain Jonathan, First Officer Amanda, and the entire crew, we wish you a pleasant stay.
So there's the chart. Ground, virtual 001, requesting taxi to parking. So we're going to go via Bravo, I imagine, because we're on Bravo. Are they going to talk to us today? We did contact the right... Oh, nobody is listening. I'm on the wrong frequency. What? Oh, they gave us the wrong frequency. Okay. So Diagras ground. 705. He said it wrong. Oh, I said it wrong. I transposed it. Diagras ground, virtual 001, requesting taxi to parking.
Virtual 001, taxi to parking via Bravo, Juliet, Bravo, good day.
Via Bravo, Juliet, Bravo, virtual 001, good day. So they didn't actually give us a specific stand, so it's our own choice, I'm guessing.
Virtual 001, good day.
He didn't sound very happy with us, did he? Probably because we've been standing in the middle of the taxiway for 5 minutes. It's funny, isn't it? You get spoilt by the really nice scenery, and then you get somewhere that, you know, using the stock scenery, which we used to think was great. And it stands out like a sore thumb once you've seen something better. So we'll just go and park ourselves up. That'll do. Okay, we don't have to tell anybody we're on the blocks. It's a common myth that you have to do that. Let's go and go to ground services and get the cones put around the aeroplane and the GPU connected, and we'll do the stairs in a moment, but then we'll go and switch on the external power, and then we can turn the engines off. So off, off. Oh, we left the ignition on, start again. I'm terrible for doing that. Okay, so engines are spooling down. The lights can all come off now, of course. So we have finished taxiing. The beacon light can come off. The engines are stopped. The strobes can go off from auto. Seatbelt signs can come off. No smoking signs can come off. The emergency exit signs can come off. The fuel pumps can be switched off. The ADIRs can be switched off. The oxygen system can be
ground,
off.
Travel 7 Kilo Quebec, request cipher clearance
we're
to
pretty much
Uganda.
there. So if we wish to,
I'm
we
working
could
on that
go
clearance.
and
Stand by.
remove the power, but we'll leave it running for the moment.
Cleared to Hurghada, runway 24, departure Arba 1 Mike.
So will that give us automatically a door open? So we're going to go and open the left door, and we'll put the stairs in place. There we go. Very pretty picture to end the flight with. So, having done that, can we do anything else with the aeroplane? Around, like, you know, the ground services, or I don't think you can you? It's quite basic. So we can open all the doors up there and just see what they look like. So I guess if you've got one of the other add-ons that does all the animated people, that's cool. Look, they've even got a bit of momentum and they wobble. We've got another door opening somewhere. That motor wound up for quite a long time, didn't it? There we go. So I'm going to leave it on the ground there. Hopefully you enjoyed that. So that was a flight from the new Inibuilds version of Larnaca, which will be released very soon, I understand. We flew into absolutely, you know, stark comparison against it, one of the AI airports in Rhodes. So I'll see if I can get some scenery for Rhodes online, and maybe we come back here and I take off from here to fly somewhere else soon. So hope you enjoyed that. I'll see you again soon. Take care.